A blackout and an explosion with a strange ray line illuminating the sky at a distance of hundreds of meters in a power generation center that was devoured by fire in the city of Scannaba in Michigan, USA.
This strange event left the people of the city in panic and astonishment, and when they tried to inquire, they encountered a strange silence and a complete cover from the authorities. The event was likened to the Hollywood science fictional films. Some even likened it to the Independence Day movie, where a ray of light descends from the sky and things start to explode. Amidst total horror and amazement, and there are no answers, some said the beam was coming from a spacecraft, and some went on to say it was a matter of weapons of mass destruction dropped from space. Where in the 80s of the last century, the Strategic Defense Initiative, or the so-called Star Wars, was announced, as it was relentless attempts to manufacture a laser weapon, whether in the air or space, when an arms race for the militarization of space began. Some even went straight to accusing the Russians of striking the electricity generation center in the city of Scannaba in Michigan, USA, confirming that the Russians have advanced programs in the field of space armament, as they say that the Russians were able to do so with a laser beam from a satellite. But the space monitoring devices denied this hypothesis. The images at the time of the strange explosion did not show the presence of suspicious satellites and images, and it is difficult to hide a weapon of this size in space. Some specialists also went to the exclusion of the space attack theory, saying that the source of the flame is from the surface of the Earth. Their theory was based on the existence of a shipyard near the power generation center. Assuming that the explosion may be due to a dangerous metal that is frequently used in ships, which is magnesium, so the combustion of magnesium when water is thrown at it increases the ignition and forms a strong flame, as magnesium separates water molecules made of highly inflammatory hydrogen and oxygen that feeds on the fire, so it is dangerous to pour water over a magnesium fire. But when the experiments were conducted, it became clear the difference between the flame caused by the fire of magnesium and the explosion of the power generation center, because the light line is very clear in the strange explosion. Whenever people tried to inquire again about the strange explosion of the Scannaba power station in Michigan, they collided with a wall. And the strange explosion still raises many questions. A Chinese woman from Shaoxing posted a video of a piece of meat moving, saying,
"Look at the piece of meat way I bought today. It's moving."
Which raised many questions. How can dead meat move? Some have considered it evidence of the existence of life after death. This accident left the scientists completely stunned. How does a piece of meat move after it is sliced? What drives dead flesh to move? Was Frankenstein emitted? Some have directly adopted the zombie theory. The myth of the zombie exists in all cultures, explaining that there is a fine line between life and death. Previous events also revealed the existence of nail traces within constants of the dead in past centuries. Rather, in the recent past, when many were announced dead and after hours or days like a miracle, they wake up alive and tell about their exciting experiences. In 2014 in Mississippi, a 78-year-old man was put inside a bag in a refrigerator for the dead, and the bag in which his body was placed began to move. The man woke up alive. In 2018, a Spanish prisoner was announced dead, and an hour later, he was taken to the refrigerator. Heard crackles and movement in the refrigerator. The man woke up alive as if nothing had happened. Scientists explain that the real death is the death of the mind, so he may think that a person is dead after his heart stops, but he is alive unless his brain stops, so the activity can be restored to his heart as long as the brain is alive. But a piece of moving meat has neither a heart nor a brain nor lungs. Another theory appears that says that the piece of meat moves for technological reasons, that is, there is an attempt to make the piece of meat move, and this led us directly to Frankenstein and trying to revive muscles and dead meat, and this is similar to laboratory experiments to send movement in the thigh of a dead frog by electricity. It is like science fiction. Attempts to revive dead animals continued. In the years 50s of the last century, the Soviet scientist Vladimir Demikov performed the operation of transplanting the head and feet of a dog into another dog by linking their nervous and blood systems to keep them alive. The results were miraculous, as he succeeded in keeping them a whole month alive. The Dr. Sergio Canavero, known as Dr. Frankenstein of the modern era, succeeded in implanting a mouse's head in another mouse by electrocution. but it becomes clear when examining the moving piece of meat that there are no electrical wires, as it is placed on a wooden table and it is known that the wood is an electrical insulator. To exclude this theory, the meat moves on its own. But the experts did not give up. They said, it is most likely that the cow was slaughtered, and the piece was detached directly to continue the movement because sometimes energy remains stored in the muscles even after death. Are Chinese women working in a massacre? How long does it take for the dead muscles to store energy and then move? The lady says she bought the steak from the supermarket. Experts and moderates alike are perplexed by the moving piece of meat.